What is up, everybody? Welcome to the After the Ride podcast. This is actually last week's episode, and if you want the newest episode, make sure to join my Patreon. To join, go to patreon.com/DanDanTheFireman. And I just want to say thank you right now if you do join, but if not, enjoy this one, and all you have to do is wait for next week. Yeah, thanks a lot. And you know what? That's because probably because I commented on your crash.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why. Not to be vain, but yeah, that's how I found out. I was like, me on the internet? Who's this? Like, no, yeah, that's how I saw it. And I was like, this is awesome. I can't wait to watch them dissect other crashes and stuff. And so I was like, glad I could contribute. And you're really humble about it, needlessly humble. Like, thank you, Walter, for letting us use your video for educational purposes. Like, I don't care, but thank you for being, gracious about it.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about people's videos and then say mean things. I mean, it's pretty obvious that there was a crash involved, but definitely for people to learn, it was pretty good, and they learned a lot. They learned that, oh wow, that could happen. And
sorry, just being cynical. They learned, oh wow, he's an idiot.
That's true. I mean,
you probably learned that too.
No, when people
I learned that.
You did, and you said it at the end. You said it at the end that, you know what, I did something dumb and I crashed my bike. That was pretty much it. But dude, how's your collarbone after that? I've never broken anything like that.
But you've broken a bone, right?
Yeah, I've broken my fist right here. I've had to get pins in that.
Oh, you got pins?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like a 98% recovery. It's like perfect except for, and I remember I could see a nail raised in my skin, and I went to a follow-up, and I said, is that a nail? And she goes, no, that's just something that'll dissolve over time. I'm like, nails dissolve? Because that's a nail. It looked and felt like one. And now if I put enough stress on my shoulder, and it takes a lot, I'll feel what looks like in the same location as a nail. It's like, But other than that, full mobility, I can do everything and I'm fine. It's just if I put stress, I feel otherwise. Yeah. Also, I'm kind of numb on my skin down, but
so you had some surface nerve damage.
Yeah,
to
I
it?
got some nerve damage.
Oh, that's weird.
It is weird because if you touch me here, it's like I can feel it over here. It's like,
wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
It would be funny if I had nerve damage here that felt like over here, so someone could come up behind me and do the shoulder tap. Yeah. They wouldn't have to switch sides.
Oh my gosh, that would be pretty funny. Oh man, that would suck though. That would suck. You're gonna have like people just normally, hey, I want to talk to you for real, and you're like,
I couldn't get mad. That's just funny. How could you not do that? No, it's really good. I really can't complain.
Okay, very good, man. How was your second crash? So I mean, you biffed and you're like, this is how it's done, and you just kind of rolled it. Did any injuries from that one, or?
I hit my shin, and I guess I have scarring underneath my skin, so there's a little bump still there, and you can kind of see it. I had rash underneath here. This was the arm that went on the ground, but it's almost completely healed. It's still technically there. I'll probably still have it, but otherwise totally fine. That was the second part of your question. The first part was I rolled with it.
Yeah, you were like, this is how you do it, and you just kind of like whoop, just slid on your butt a little bit, and it looked all graceful. Maybe it was the editing.
I'm glad it looked graceful. Obviously, I didn't plan that. I just, as soon as it happened, I was like, here we go. I guess this is this now. So
very good. Anything with the bike itself, like any problems that you had after that? Just
the crash bar, the paint's scratched off, and that was months ago. So now there's rust, and so this month or next month I'll get it painted again. But had the bike looked over entirely just to make sure. Nothing to the wheels. Nothing, man. Crash bar did what it was supposed to do. Considering, I mean, I don't know, you didn't ask this, but I want to say no crash is good. But as far as a crash can go, that crash went as good as it could. No one was hurt. The vehicle wasn't damaged. There could have been a metal rail there on that curb, and that would have been super different.
Yep.
So, like, as far as a crash could go, that was pretty lucky. I mean, I'm lucky if you want to put it that way.
And
that's just to discourage anyone who goes, I can do it. He didn't be fine. Maybe not. Maybe not. It's not because I was skilled. Obviously not.
Nobody recreate this. Nobody recreate it at all. You went around the corner and you're talking about the guardrail and all that stuff. Do you think that was? I mean, why do you think that really happened? Was it like just a loss of traction, or just
It's daydreaming.
just daydreaming?
Yeah, I wrote it in the video in text to speech or text form. I don't know how I could say it differently, but I literally was just, this is nice. Whoa, I'm in a turn and I'm going 80. But I didn't do it correctly. I should have committed. I should have just leaned and looked into the turn. And if I was more skilled, or obviously if I wasn't not paying attention, I could have recovered it. But by the time I woke up, I was panicked. So, and again, as good as a crash can go, I was pretty lucky, but I don't know. Was that your question?
Yeah, that was pretty much
Loss of
it.
traction happened at the end, and I knew it would when I got close to the edge. We're like, we'll just sand and gravel. I'm gonna slide, and I'd rather dump it than just go over because I can't stop unless I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not like I had that much time to think, but I don't know.
Things happen. I mean, the whole point is, I guess, now pay attention and then make that turn. But I think you learned that. Yeah, I think you learned that. And then you said something about taking a class. Like you took a BRC class, I believe, right? Or an MSF class recently, or not recently, but a couple months ago.
You're the nerd who knows this. I think it's B for beginner, right?
Yeah.
The first one, then that's the one I took.
Yeah. So beginner rider course 1 or 2. It all depends on which one.
Yeah, 1, and then there's another one afterwards. But I had always wanted to. And then that happened, and I was like, well, maybe this is a good reason to push it up my agenda list. So I did that, and that was cool. Fortunately, I don't know, you're asking how my experience was. I'm glad I went. I wish I went sooner. I wish I could do the other ones. Just mostly, I'm interested in learning techniques that I wouldn't otherwise come up with by myself, like looking into a turn, and I've heard about it, but then actually applying it on a test course made me understand, oh, this is why I should actually do it. It's kind of like your mom saying, don't run with scissors. Oh, this is why. No, I mean, it's one's saying it and one's actually doing it and going, I don't know. So that was cool. I'd like to do more, but I'm lazy. I learned technique stuff. Fortunately, it also helped me build confidence in my machine because, I know my vehicle for the most part, did the narrow figure eights and the start and stops, and I did excellent on those, honestly, but
you
simple
learn
things.
Yeah,
simple things I sucked at, like you go to these cones, then those cones, and those cones. I always mess that up, and I look stupid in front of everybody. But when it counted, I know how to use my bike, so that's something. But man, I don't understand some basic stuff, and I'm like, well, I'm glad I went, but
it's
kind of puts you in your place.
The whole having to, like, okay, I'm told what to do, but then I got to go to these cones and I got to manipulate the bike, and I don't want to crash into this student. I don't want this student to be. And you start to worry about that.
He tells you the course, and you go, all right, and then you pull up to the first cones.
What do I do?
Which cones? I gotta go. I gotta choose now. There's people behind me.
Yeah, that trust me. I see it from the other side. I'm like, yeah, you're good. I know you're gonna forget. Let's go ahead and move on here. And then by the 4th exercise, I'm like, okay, I know I got to say this to this student 3 more times. This student's not listening to me, but they still got it. And then we're going to do this. We're going to make it work, and we're going to make it fun. So you're going to learn a lot if you take the advanced classes, though. I mean, you're going to learn trail braking, more higher speed stuff, all that stuff.
Yeah, a little scary, but I want to.
You should. It's out on a course. It's in a safe environment. It's not, going 80 on an off-ramp.
But what if I drop my bike anyway right after I paint the crash bars?
That's why you said you're going to do it in about a month or 2. You should do the class now. So if you
that
do drop
makes
it,
sense.
Logically,
it does make sense.
What bike did you use? Did you use their bike at the?
No, I
used
my Super Duke.
Oh wow! So you use like this really powerful bike for the beginner class?
And I'm going like really slow. And they're like, we want you to go as slow as you can, but do not use the brakes. Okay. Whoa. But fortunately, my bike can kind of crawl, So, but whatever. You can pass the class on that bike. Even though it's not ideal. It's my favorite bike. I wanted to use it.
That's good. That's what we recommend, especially in the BRC2 class, is to you have to bring your own bike for the updated version for the skills portion, and it's so you can learn on your bike. Because I mean, you're going to go practice on a 250 and then jump on the Super Duke, and it's going to be a huge difference.
Yeah.
But primary control is still the same. But yeah, huge difference in power. But yeah, the advanced class, you're going to take that bike and then You're going to learn some really cool stuff, man. You should definitely take an advanced class.
How about learn something I learned already, like don't dump your bike, but I might have to learn that lesson again.
You might have to. But you should totally try it. Yeah, there's a bunch of advanced techniques, trail braking, and then higher speed. It's kind of like higher speed, slow speed type stuff where you have to do a lot of swerving, a lot of cool stuff like that. I also follow you on Instagram, so I learned a lot about your car and how much you love it, and then having constantly sitting inside like a restaurant or something and making sure nobody's looking at your car. I remember. I know those your stories. Okay, yeah. I love your stories, and somebody's looking at it. You're like, Is that your baby? I mean, you had the Jeep, right?
Yeah, I have the Jeep. Are you talking about my R8?
Yeah, R8. That's your baby. I can tell.
Well, I feel that way about all my vehicles. Selfish about all of them, but I mean, yeah, the R8, it's expensive. So I don't even want to touch it. It has been touched. I've had since I've moved here, the hitch stolen off the back of my Jeep and a piece of a grill cover, a plastic cover stolen off the back of my R8. So I'm especially I actually have kind of a reason to look. But even before then, I had this joke with my friend. I would always or in a restaurant, I would be looking out the window, chewing, not looking at him, looking at my bike. And then one time I looked away and he jokingly went, "Walter, someone's stealing your bike." And I did a double take and of course it's there. And so then I never took my eyes off of it. And then as I'm looking at it, he'll go, "Walter, someone's stealing your bike." And I'll
while you're looking at it.
While I'm looking at it. Yeah, but it's a habit, but I also kind of have reason to at least hear stuff has actually happened. I've never had stuff stolen off of, or my bike stolen somehow, unlike some people like Chase on two wheels. He's had his R6 is stolen how many times?
Yeah, I remember him he had it in like this public storage area. I'm watching his vlog or something. He's like rolling it down like the hallways so he can keep it safe. And I remember all that stuff.
I wish I could keep my bikes inside. But yeah, he's had several and I've been comparatively lucky.
Yeah.
But I don't take chances if I don't have to.
No, you'll keep an eye on that thing.
Yeah.
You ever thought about putting like this really weird alarm on it? Like it's just like your voice yelling at them.
I wish the horn on the Jeep could be boo, decent lit up. It's just tisk. I thought about putting like a randomized alarm system in the Jeep where, if it's tampered with, the horn goes off, but at random intervals instead of, like a regular one where it's on and off. The idea is it would sound like somebody's in the car because you don't hear it that way. But otherwise, no, I mean, I haven't thought about doing anything crazy security-wise. No, I guess not. Okay. Just keep them insured and watch them, I guess.
There you go, man. There you go.
Oh, and stay lucky. That's a good.
Yeah. You need to knock on some wood over here. Stay lucky. So, any plans on like anything more with the bikes? Anything like a different bike? You want to do like adventure style riding? You want to do cruiser stuff? I remember you did a sport glide thing in Hawaii with Harley Davidson a while back. Ever
My beard's not quite big enough. I'm not old enough yet. I'm old. I'm not that old. No offense. I don't have any plans to get another bike. I'm sure I will. I don't have one that I'm eyeing and thinking that I really want. I have a collection by my own subjective terms. So 4 bikes. If I thought I needed another bike, the one I'd probably look for is a supermoto.
Okay.
Or a dirt bike, something that is very off-road capable because none of my bikes are. Not that I would need it because I don't, but I think some new bike would have to come out because I have the bikes that I want.
Okay.
I think. Maybe.
How many bikes do you have?
4.
You have 4? Ooh,
yes.
Wow.
And I own all of them and they're all working and they're all licensed.
Very
they're
nice.
Actually mine.
What bikes what bikes are they? Or bikes are they?
I have a 2015 Kawasaki Ninja 650R customized aesthetically. I have a 2007 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, which is almost done being customized aesthetically, and some stuff. I mean, like exhausts and no actual engine performance changes. And then my main bike, the 2018 KTM Super Duke R, which is fully customized. And I commented recently, short of putting carbon fiber on that bike, it can't get any better. Love that bike. And then I also have a 2019 KTM Super Adventure S, which is the touring version of that Super Duke. So it's the same engine, but in a similar subframe, but then the rest of it, is different. That one's fully customized. Also, the end.
Yeah. No, I noticed that you travel a lot down south, and you were doing that on the Super Duke, and then I'm assuming that's why you got the touring one, so you could do that with that.
Yeah, I have a friend and he has a Super Adventure, and I rode with him on my Super Duke. We rode from Maryland to Georgia because I always wanted to go on a ride, and that was the best bike at the time. And surprisingly, even though that is not a touring bike, it was hard, but my back was fine.
Okay.
Which is something.
Oh yeah.
And then we wanted to go again. I said, if I do that trip again, I've got to have a touring bike. And I want to be twinsies. So I got one like he has. And then we rode on those. And did the exact same trip. And I had a touring bike that time. Recently, we rode not very far into Virginia to do Skyline Drive. Mm-hmm. And until the weather gets better, I don't know where we're going to ride. But I chose Georgia because it was like the best distance with an event or objective or person at the end relative to Maryland.
It was a meetup or
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The first one. No, the second one.
Because you did
the first
Florida
one we went to visit
right?
Chase on two wheels. No, that wasn't riding there.
Oh, okay.
The first time when I was on my Super Duke was to see Chase. The second time on my Super Adventure was to Dan's meetup at Wild Motorcycles and then see Chase. And we, literally took 1 day to ride. So 1 day there?
1 day? You rode all the way from Maryland to Georgia in 1 day?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was the first time we went down. We were making terrible time. We were on our bikes and on the road for 18 hours. It was rough. Anyway,
wow. That's like an iron butt challenge almost.
Almost, man. Like if we pushed a little bit more, I could have done 1,000 in 24 hours. That is the iron butt, correct?
Yeah, 1,000 in 24 hours. There's like different ones. There's like iron.
Maybe
butt.
I did unknowingly because because it was 3 days total. 1 day there, or 1 day to ride there, 1 day there, 1 day to ride back.
Okay.
In that next day, we took off riding in the morning for around town. Who knows? Maybe I got up 1,000. I haven't definitively, so I'm not going to claim that I have completed that challenge. Plus, you can register for that, right?
Yeah, I think you have to
prove it, or
yeah, the way to prove it, I think you have to like show them your gas receipt or something. Like so
that would make sense.
You fill up and it has a timestamp and all that stuff, and then you fill up at the end or something.
Like what you could do is I don't know if they require this, but you could hold the receipt in front of the odometer. So you include the odometer and the receipt, so that shows the time. Well, I mean, does it?
I don't know.
I wish if the receipt showed the odometer, that would be perfect, but it doesn't work that way. Whatever.
Something like that.
Someday I've got to do that.
Yeah, you definitely got to. I mean,
isn't there a bigger iron butt challenge or something where it's 7 days and you have to do X amount?
There's definitely something bigger because there's the smaller one, which is like that 1,000 miles. And then there's definitely something way bigger than that. The Iron Butt Association. That is ironbutt.org.
Are you a member of any clubs?
The Iron Butts. I don't have a Jamie like on Joe Rogan, so you can't have somebody like look this up for me. They definitely have a lot of stuff. And the Saddle Sore 1,000. So that's what it is. So Saddle Sore 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours. And then the next one is Bun Burner. And then, Bun Burner and Saddle Sore. The Iron Butt. The Bun Burner is 1,500 miles in less than 36 hours. Yeah, there's a lot of cool things on here. Ultimate Coast to Coast. You should try that. Key West, Florida to remote Prudhoe Bay, Alaska. So
I definitely want to do a big, specifically, I want to ride through all the 50, I guess I can't, the lower 48 states. I want to ride through every state in the country sometime. I looked into it briefly. It would take 2 to 3 months, depending on if you rode 4 or 6 hours a day, 6 to 8, I can't remember. And then there was this route that shows there's a lot of planned courses. One is the most efficient way to get through quickly. One is to see major spots. But I definitely want to do that sometime. I would love to do that and live stream the whole thing. Of course, the whole live streaming technology as far as out on the road is not reliable. It relies on your data and your signals will drop in and out. But that would be cool, right?
Yeah.
Not like you'd watch for 3 months, but at any point during the 3 months, you could just check in and check out. Like, is he alive? All right, cool. What's this place right there? I'm done. Like, check in for a few seconds at a time and see the progress. And then I'd like to make some kind of video of the experience because, man, it's really motivating to watch people's stories of them riding on these long trips and being done like, yeah, I did it. It's cool. I'd like to do that sometime.
That sounds, I mean, you got the adventure bike now, dude. You got that touring bike. Definitely can do it. Is that a lot easier on your, like you said, it was easy on your back for the Super Duke. So is that one more upright? Is that changed the ergonomics? I don't know too much about that.
Yes, definitely the sitting position's different. When I took that bike for the first time, the second trip to Georgia, my back hurt more than it did on the Super Duke, which is bizarre. I have a bad back, and for whatever reason, riding my sport bikes does not agitate my back, fortunately. But that Super Adventure, the bigger one, did. So as soon as I got back, I got bar risers on it, so that instead of my arms being stretched and my shoulders being stressed forward, they're more up here now. And that seemed, I haven't gone on a long ride since then. It seemed to help a lot. I kind of wish I had a backrest, but that's kind of cheating.
No, do it, man. If you're going to do long distance across the country, go get yourself a backrest. Get you something where you're going to be comfy 100% of the time.
I could strap down luggage and sit back against it, but yeah, it seems way better now. I'm so glad I put those on. I wish I had them on sooner.
Yeah. With the long distance stuff, yeah, it sounds like you thought about it. Like, the quickest route, the best route for certain landmarks and all that stuff. You got the bike.
I think it's 13,000. Is it 13,000 or 22,000? I think it's 13,000 miles to do the whole thing. I mean, I've looked at some numbers, It's not like I've thought about it really seriously. I just know I want to sometime.
That sounds awesome, man. I would definitely watch that. I mean, the live streaming, like you said, the technology's not there. I try to do it myself. I've asked you about that, and it's just, yeah, it just dips out. Your stream ends, it restarts, all these different problems. But I think a lot of people would really like to see that. Like, there's not that many people.
What would you do content wise for 3 months if you're not at home? I have another challenge, but maybe you could make something out of it. Live streaming the whole thing would be awesome. I don't think you can, but
I think there's got to be something to where you travel through the state, you're recording, you're making content of all the landmarks. You bring a laptop with you, so then, after like a week, you'll edit that week's footage, and then it'll just go up, next week. Then once you have like 3 or 4 backed up. So also at the same time, that way people don't know exactly where you're at. I mean, that could be kind of weird. They're gonna like set up a roadblock for you. They'd be like, "Oh, I want to see you."
You can't control when people see you.
Yeah,
you can't.
Well, wear like full camo. The bike's camoed, you're camoed. Nobody will see you at all.
That doesn't sound very safe.
That's true. I should take that back. No, I would love to see that.
Do an oxymoronic pattern. Yeah. You have camo and you have. I don't know why I'm doing Wisconsin, and have reflective on.
Yeah, it's a high vis.
You'd be like, wait a minute, he has camo on a reflective vest.
Yeah, digital camo, but with like bright orange, bright yellow, bright green, all mixed in. That'd be cool. You ever want to go up to Alaska though? You said lower 48. You don't want to ride in Alaska? You don't want to do like some
I'd
ice
like to, but as far as one continuous ride, I would just be easier to do it here. But I have visited Hawaii, which is weird. I forgot about that. But I would like to visit Alaska. Also, if I did this ride and visited Alaska, then I could say I've been to all the 50 states. But I don't imagine riding through Canada to get to Alaska I just kind of want it to be simple. Like have you seen Edward McGregor's?
Oh yeah,
Charlie Borman's freaking. Oh my gosh, it's so awesome and it's just like intense.
They recently used the live wire on that thing. It's like,
I think they're on their third one. I don't know, but anyhow, what they do is legit. That is hard. They're going through nowhere with almost no support, and they have to know survival stuff and mechanical stuff. I don't. So if I were to go to the 48, at least I have the chance of, oh, cool, my currency works. And there's almost always somebody within a phone call away if something happens, not like they're doing. So I'm already kind of pushing it, going around the country. I don't think I need to put Alaska in there. I still would like to see it. I don't necessarily need to ride there. I want to ride in another country, which I think I'm going to do this year. I've never been out before. So
you've never been out of the country?
Nope.
Not even Mexico?
Nope. I mean, every day.
From Maryland. I just go there every day, get like a taco or something, come back, it's for lunch.
I always take my R8. It's whenever I'm in my R8, I'm in Mexico.
That's where all the pictures originate from. You're good. You ever think of taking? I mean, with like you and McGregor, you ever thinking taking anybody with you on that, or you want to do this solo?
I imagine doing it solo. Something I don't want someone to come with, but we all have our riding styles, and I'm a very what's the word? Individual. Shoot is a good word for this.
That's perfect.
I don't want to say I'm an individual person. There's a something person. There are people who like to ride in groups. There are people who like to ride in big groups of people they don't know.
I don't know.
Thank you. I don't know. It's a better word than I had.
Synonyms.
And there are people like myself who like to ride by themselves. It's not that I wouldn't like riding with somebody else. In fact, I think it'd be really fun to do that 48 state trip with Jordan. But I've always kind of imagined doing it myself. I'm not married to it, though. I don't know about yourself, but when it comes to riding, I prefer to ride my own. That way, go, stop whenever I want. I don't mind riding with a group of 4, 5, if I know them. I know how they're going to ride for the most part. That's fine. But I don't like, every time I go out, I don't want to go out and ride unless they're going with, I'll ride by myself. But then I'm gotten to the age where I typically don't care to get into a group with like 50, 20 bikes of strangers because I don't know what they're doing. And then they're not maintaining their lanes. And it's like, this isn't fun because I have to worry about you now.
Yeah.
Not to make myself sound good, but if you don't know what you other riders around you are doing, I don't know. That's just my preference.
No, I that's how I ride too. I prefer to ride solo or with just my wife because I know how she rides because I've been there since the beginning, or with a very select few people that I know here locally. Yeah. Group rides, the only group ride I'll ever do is the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, and that is because it's completely structured.
It's an event. It's organized.
Yeah.
I like joining those. It's not like I need to do those or I refuse to ride unless I'm doing a big ride, but big random things I typically don't care to get into. It's like, all right, we'll have fun.
How does that affect you with the meetups? Don't they do a lot of group rides at the meetups?
Those are always fun because they are more or less organized. You can't account for everybody and what they're going to do, but if it's an event and people are looking forward to you being there and it's an excuse to join a group that is organized, then I'll do those. Those are fun every once in a while.
Yeah. So you took the car to should I even be calling it a car? Is there a special name for that?
It's a car.
It's a car. Okay.
4 wheels and an engine.
4 wheels. You took it to Florida. So I mean, were you able to do any group ride there by renting a bike or borrowing a bike or anything like that? Or
I thought you were talking about you're talking about the Jeep.
Oh,
I took the Jeep to Florida.
You took the Jeep to Florida. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. What was your question?
So for group rides, do they expect you to go for the ride or something? But since you took the car, did you rent a bike, borrow a bike, anything like that? Or
in Florida, there was no ride.
Okay.
It was a big parking lot in front of a huge motorcycle cafe, and they had a section of the lot sectioned off for stunters, but there was no ride. I brought not the event. I had a trailer, 2 bikes, and my Jeep, and I trailered down there. Some of the motovloggers, when I was staying with Blockhead, had a small ride for about 20 people. That he knew, and I guess they knew. They, met up at a location and rode to, and had, A, B, and C points. So it was more or less organized. Okay. And that is what I brought my bike for.
Okay. Yeah, John Maxwell, you posted that he helped you with your trailer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. He's cool. Same thing with Blockhead. I've known them for a long time.
Really?
Blockhead, I've known him since he's at 5,000 subscribers. We have a little group chat on WhatsApp. Me, him, Bike and Bird, John Maxwell, and Moto Noob Rider. We chat every once in a while.
Cool.
Not a whole bunch recently. I think we've been all busy, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun with that. So how with your trailer, how did that all work out? How did he help you with that?
Okay.
I don't have a trailer. I really don't. I mean, I'd like to learn from you on this one too.
Okay, I'll try to keep it not too long. All right. Let's do 90 seconds, right? Here we go.
Boom.
I had one way of getting motorcycles hauled around, and that was on a Moto tote. I'm not going to explain what that is, but it only moves one bike, and it's not legit. So I wanted to get an actual motorcycle trailer. It's an aluminum trailer that's made to hold 2 motorcycles. the way to attach to motorcycles is with straps. There are chocks in the front, but they really don't do much other than keep your front wheel from moving a little bit. So I bought these things called pit bull trailer restraints. And how they work is you bolt these plates into your trailer, whatever trailer you want. And then you buy a specific pin kit for your bike. And then you can essentially lock this system into your rear wheel, and then you just roll your bike up into the trailer, and then that system locks in place on the ground of the trailer. It's very cool. It's very safe, and it's expensive, but you're done. You don't have to worry about any scraps. So I had 3 of those plates on my trailer bolted down, so I could try to fit 3, even though I wasn't sure if I could. I'm going to go over 90 seconds. I put them based on where I had room. And I had only taken 1 bike on the way down to Florida on the center stand, and that worked fine. But when I came down to Florida, I picked up a second bike. So I moved it out of the center, and I put the second bike. The 3 stands were in like a V formation. So I put the bike out of the middle. I put this one there, and then I had 1 more hour to go to Blockhead's place. And then I realized right away those 2 stands, because they were mounted further back in the trailer, were too far back. The weight was too far away from the hitch. And then if you got over like 35 miles an hour, you start to get the momentum, like crud. So that meant those 2, way over 90 now. That meant that those 2 had to come and get mounted forward more, but then that meant that middle one couldn't be used. I'm like, that's okay. I just bolted it down because I had it, and I didn't think I could fit 3 anyway. I was like, I'm not going to drive over 1,000 miles to get home with them the way they are. I have to re-bolt them, which means drilling into the trailer. And I just need a power tool and somebody who's competent. It's not stupid hard, but I'm lazy, and I would never trust myself to do something if there's someone else in the vicinity who can do a better job. So John's like, yeah, I'll help you. It'll be really easy. And sure enough, it was easy. We took an hour, I think, to re-drill and line up and move it, and we're done. And it works perfectly. And it's a dumb little story, but it was super helpful because it would have been a horrible, dangerous drive home without having someone to help me move it. And so now it works awesome. It hauls 2 bikes great, and I can just roll bikes up, and it's so cool. Anyway, the end.
Yeah. That's very important, because you definitely don't want it to be swaying at over 35 miles an hour for 1,000 miles. That would be way dangerous. And John Maxwell's actually helped us in the group chat. When I had the Harley, I had some problems with some bolts and what sizes, and he just named them off right top of his head without even having to look at a manual. I'm like, thank you, man. And that's kind of cool. He's a cool guy. He does really good with that. He really does help out. Any plans on any meetups this year? Anything coming up?
I feel like there's something. I'm trying to go out of the country, and if I do, I will likely have a meetup out of the country. Otherwise, besides the usual ones like Chase's motovlogger meetup in Georgia in the summer, no, they're going to be more spontaneous than that. I think I'll have more mini meets in states as I travel. Mini meets are like my non-committal meetups. Meetups are things that are planned like 3 months ahead. Mini meets are like, in a week or 2, I'm going to travel here. Come meet me at this place. I don't expect to have hundreds of people, just a few. And I love those because they're just super chill. I get to spend more time talking to individuals, and I get to memorize their names by the end. I do a lot more mini meets than I do meetups.
Okay. Are they all? Do they all happen at a QT? Is that
Not in Maryland, they don't, but in Kansas, you can't go wrong with a QT.
I remember everybody.
Who wants a donut?
Everybody recognized you at the QT. I remember that. There's just like a lot of stuff going on. I mean, you did the BRC course. You're doing these meetups. You want to travel. Like, what direction do you think you want to start going towards? I mean, with me personally, I always had to change what I like to do. I mean, we all change, and I'm changing my content. So you want to travel, you want to do these mini meetups. Is that kind of where you're going with that?
I want to become a better rider, and I also want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to do Moto Monday and finally Friday, but then I also want to, motorcycle-wise, another track day, but expand my motorcycle, experience. I'd like to expand it. And that includes the 48 state ride. But I want to do other things too. But when it comes to motorcycles.
What other things do you want to do?
With motorcycles?
Oh, with outside of motorcycles.
Shoot, man.
Screw motorcycles.
I've gotta get an outlet for my ranting and cynicism about films and TV and commercials, man.
Oh, yeah.
no one sitting on the, I mean, I should say some people who sit next to me and watch something, most of them just want to watch what they're watching, but they can't when they're next to me because I'm just crapping up the whole time. I want to do that. I have some secret project ideas I want to get into. And there's some things down the line that I'm going to have to deal with that I'm looking forward to. Like I'd like to own a house one day. So I've been thinking about how I might have a house and what I'm going to do with the house and how it's going to relate to motorcycles and, you know, some adult stuff, but also some
like a badass garage.
Yes, but don't get me excited.
Badass at minimum 3 to 4 car garage because you got your 4 bikes. Yeah, you got all this
equipment. Getting me excited.
Or a 2-car garage, but really long.
4-car garage.
4-car garage.
Mini fridge.
Studio.
Sofa. TV. I'm just talking about the garage.
Oh,
I'm
just
every aspect of this house.
Well, you started with TV, sofa. I was like, oh, we're going to the living room now.
No. That's the basement. The basement is the second garage. It's going to be accessible from outside. And you can bring bikes in there. There'll be lines coming down from the ceiling for charging and for air.
Oh my
That's the clean garage. That's where people come in and hang out. And then there's going to be a bar and there's going to be stools and they're going to be cute because they're going to have motorcycle tires and the rings for the bottom. I'm talking too much, but I thought about
I love it.
Make my house like this big fun thing for people with motorcycles yet.
Are you gonna have a slide going from the top to the bottom?
I said the end, but I was thinking about putting in an elevator shaft, not because I need one, but because then you could pull a motorcycle up and down stairs without going outside.
That's smart.
Not make me talk about my house.
That's forward thinking right there. No, I want to hear about it all. I love hearing
but it's
about
a
what.
Secret.
Oh, okay, it's a secret. I love hearing about what you're passionate about, and you talking about doing that movie stuff. I mean, it sounds like, oh, I want to do that. And then also the traveling. But I mean, I have outlets outside of motorcycling. I do woodworking. I don't post any of that stuff, really. I made my bed, my kids' beds, our dining table, and I'm going to make a desk and then a bunch of other stuff. And I'm passionate about that. So I'm really interested with your movie stuff or anything outside of motorcycling, too. Because I think everyone has to be well-rounded.
Yeah, no one does one thing, and if they don't, how do I put this? I'm gonna start over. No one does one thing, and for those who, and not everyone has to share all the things they do. That's what I was trying to say. Yeah. So I mostly just share the motorcycle stuff, which is fine because I'm passionate about it. It seems to make enough content. But if I get passionate about other stuff, I might want to share it too. Yeah,
I'd be interested in the movie stuff. I watch a few people. I watch like Your Movie Sucks. And a few other content creators that talk about movies critically.
And sometimes it's important to keep those to yourself. My brother, for example, likes to work on project bikes and try to build cafe racers. And earlier on, I was like, why don't you get a job working on motorcycles? And he said, because I don't want to hate it. And I thought, well, that's a weird thing. And then as I got older, that made more sense. Like, yeah, because you start to resent being made to do the thing you love. You wouldn't have a chance to do it on your own and make it your own thing. And so for some things, maybe woodworking for you, it's just more enjoyable for you if you can keep it to yourself. So then good, keep it to yourself because if it's not going to be passionate anymore, then what's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Have you gotten to a point with motorcycle YouTube stuff that you're like, it's feeling like a job. This is a job. And
yeah, that happens sometimes. I know this wasn't your question. I heard.
Keep going, man. Keep going.
What are you planning to progress with, or what are you seeing motorcycle videos as being a dead end, or are you thinking about how you might improve it and progress it? I have ideas for how I want to progress my content, and as long as I have those, I will keep doing it. Fortunately, I'm not there yet. But to the question you actually asked, yeah, sometimes I got to make sure this gets put up. Okay. And that's a drag. Honestly, if I'm being honest, I think it means I'm doing something wrong. You should feel that every once in a while if you're making it a responsibility for yourself. But if that's all you feel, and that's not all I feel, thank goodness, but I think I need more ideas to make me personally motivated to do these things. So I'm going to try to implement them this year.
Very good. Very good. I get that feeling too. I think everyone I've talked to so far has gotten that feeling. And it's just, I think that's just once you turn it into like a brand or an idea of you, it really does turn into almost like a mini job. Luckily for me, I turned it into an actual job. Like this is what I do full time now. Yeah. And I treat it that way, but then I also try to have fun with it. And then I use that outlet of woodworking to remove myself from that. So I think that's pretty healthy. I don't know if you, and we'll go ahead and we can stop if you don't want to talk about it, but you've brought up mental health before. You've talked about your own. I've talked about my own extensively on my channel. I think that's really good that people are talking about that, especially at a higher subscriber or higher point in YouTube, whatever it is, because a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, we talk about the work, the burnout, the mental aspect of that. How does that really affect you when it comes to content creation? Is there days like me where I'm just like, I don't want to leave the house. I don't want to ride my bike, even though it gives me enjoyment. I don't want to create anything because I know if I do, it's going to suck, at least to me. Do you ever feel like that?
Do I ever feel like some days I don't want to do anything?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like to talk about it, but I think I need a different question then.
Okay.
Do you ever feel like not going out some days?
Well, do you feel like it is something that does hold you back and removes some enjoyment from what you're doing?
It definitely does.
Yeah. Does it prevent you from doing some of that stuff?
Yeah. So I'm trying to put an emphasis on me personally to improve myself because, I mean, obviously, if you have an arm missing, you can only do so much. You should try to get a prosthetic arm. No, that's a bad example. But no, it affects everything. And so I'm spending most of my time on that actually. I'm far less time on YouTube than I have been a year or two ago because I'm just spending so much time personally trying to fix it because that affects everything. I've explained, not everybody has heard because I haven't, not everybody watches every video I make, but that, for example, really affects Moto Monday in a big way because Moto Monday is, and I don't want to rant about it too much. You just tell me when I'm boring you or I'm getting off track.
That's what we're here for. Rant away. I'm here to listen and hang out.
I think I summarized it pretty well when Moto Monday is 5 minutes and that 5 minutes comes out of like a 10 hours of writing. It's a montage. Depression eats up more of your time. And then those 5 minutes are 5 minutes of good moments. But with depression, there are fewer and fewer good moments. And so those 5 minutes are harder to find. That sounds really dismal.
No, I understand that. My audience, the people that I talk to, we're very open with that. 5 minutes of just looking at something or thinking about something feels like 10 hours, honestly. Like that's how it feels. It does. You get exhausted mentally before your body. So there's like this disconnect for me personally when it comes to that. Like some days I'm super high up. I'm guessing that's the manic part where I feel great, but my body isn't because it's exhausted from two weeks of the low, and it's just constantly doing this. There's those times where it's together, and that's when I make content, and it's hard.
It's interesting. We could have a whole hour or two talking about it. Maybe we should sometime.
We should sometime. I think that'd be cool. I feel like maybe we kind of are on the same page with some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah. We don't have to talk about it today. Definitely don't have to talk about it today. But, well, what else is going on in your life? It's like we go from, I was like, I had that thought process. It's like, well, what else is going on?
So how about them Chiefs? That's what you say in Kansas when you have anything else to say. And there's an awkward pause. You just go, so how about them Chiefs?
How about them Chiefs? No, I'm really interested in that, man. That's great that you actually made that video. That was a good video.
Thanks.
Yeah. So the whole YouTube process, I mean, I know a lot of people are wondering, how you went from 0 to 2.2. Was it something that you feel like, I don't know, how did you do that, I guess? How do you feel like you did that?
Here's the story for those who don't know it and want to know it. So I was working a couple jobs and I was doing Moto Monday in my free time because I wanted to, because it's fun. And after 1 year of doing it, like almost every week, I was doing it regularly. I had maybe 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And I was like, you know what? I mean, this is great, but I got no future here. I need to put more time into work. So literally the week that I stopped doing Moto Monday, overnight it tripled to 3,000. I was like, oh shoot, that's awesome. I need to keep doing it. And so all my time was taken up between my jobs and doing Moto Monday. And then after 3 months of grinding at Moto Monday and doing these jobs, I can't remember how many subscribers I got. It was close to, I think it was 50,000.
Wow.
So in 3 months, I went from 2,000 to 50,000. And I was like, YouTube is actually paying as much as one of my jobs right now. I'm going to leave and I'm going to put more time into this. And then, yeah, that's basically when I was going full time. I called YouTube my main job. I still kept the other job for several months until I was like, all my time is going to YouTube now. And that was, I want to say 5 years ago, almost 6. It's been a while, man. But yeah,
yeah, it has been a while.
It just grew, I guess, steadily since then.
Cool. The relationships that you've built with that. I mean, that's you keep talking about Chase on 2 wheels, and then doing these meetups with other people, more on an intimate level. You're there for them, and then there's a meetup. I think that's kind of how it's going. How does that feel? Like, do you really cherish the fact that you just stuck with YouTube?
Oh yeah, I mean, I regret not staying.
What regrets?
Do I cherish YouTube? Yes, obviously. If you were going to ask the question about how do I feel about the inadvertent relationships, I say inadvertent as in I didn't plan on them. Freaking great, dude. Made friends and met people I never would have met otherwise, including fans. And I've had some really cool experiences. I mean, just not even just friendships and relationships, just experiences with people I never would have had, never thought I'd have. And I'm so glad I have them. And that's one of the most exciting things about what I do is I keep meeting people, cool people in different ways. So obviously there's a lot of cool things for me about what I do, but that's like one of the big things, especially because I never would have expected that to happen.
Yeah, a lot of opportunities to, like you said, travel across the United States.
Opportunities.
Riding. Yeah, that's really cool. Are you planning on utilizing some of those opportunities to go out of the United States? Like you're gonna, because you work with Ruroc a little bit, right? So like, is there like something that, if you can't say it, don't say it, obviously, because it's probably behind the scenes stuff. But like, are you planning on doing stuff like out of the country with different companies like that? I think that'd be kind of cool.
This isn't really your question, but when it comes to working with other companies, man, I'm terrible, right? So maybe I'm a creative person and maybe I have good ideas, but I'm not very business oriented. I don't put myself out there the way I should and engage and try to talk to companies or sponsors the way I probably should. But that being said, Ruroc, man, I'm so glad that I found them and they found me at the same time. So it worked out. I was like, I dropped my papers and Ruroc was like, I'm going to help you pick them up. And we looked and we had the slow motion and pink fuzz. And what was your question exactly? Sorry.
No, the company's out of the United States, all that stuff. I mean, it doesn't have to be plans.
I do have some plans when it comes to using a business to create something, but I'm not actively going, I wonder who wants to work. I don't care, but I'm looking forward to some that I have in mind, but it's not a driving force of mine. I like to be independent. That's the one.
Independent.
Not alone or solo. It's independent.
That's called a callback. So for those of you listening, that's a callback to a previous thing that we did.
That hopefully wasn't cut out because then that wouldn't make any sense. It just feels good when you think of the thing you were trying to think of.
Yes.
It's like scratching around. It still itches, then you get it. That's what it feels like.
So you focus on the content creative stuff. So you just do you just like me just sit around and like, man, that would be a great idea to do something, but then we never do it.
Yes. I had to wait till you finished asking that question because as soon as you started, that's what I imagined. And make sure he's saying what you think he's saying. Yes. All the time. It's like having a dream and going, that was an awesome dream, and then 10 seconds later going, I think I had a dream last night.
Do you still remember any of that stuff? Any of the cool ideas that you're like, you know what, I'm never going to get to it, so hopefully somebody else out there, if you hear it, please make it so I can watch it type thing?
An idea that I want to give away? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, well, I mean, something
none that I can think of. If I do before this is over, I will tell you. But I have ideas for things that I want to do that I'm planning to do at some point. I'm excited about those, but I want to tell you because
okay, all right.
I If I think of something that would be cool that I'm not going to do before this is over, I will tell you.
Okay. So what about attaching like a satellite dish to the back of your motorcycle so you get full connection so you can do your live streams all the way across the United States?
That'd be weird.
That would be a little bit weird, but it might work. Think about that. It might work. Get full satellite coverage.
The odds of having signal everywhere is so bad.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Is there any areas that you're with that whole traveling across the United States that you're a little bit worried about? Like for me, when I'm thinking about it, it's like snow, like that. To
I
me
didn't even think
scares
about that. 3 months would be the longest it would take, and I would do it in the spring or summer. So I wouldn't really worry about weather. I'd worry about logistical stuff.
Okay.
Who's going to take care of my dog for 3 months? How am I going to pay my bills if I'm not home for 3 months? What kind of content am I going to make, and how am I going to upload it? How often am I going to stop? Where am I going to stop? How am I going to afford that? Logistical questions. But when it comes to actually
like adult questions.
Yeah, see, I'm lame. All I have is adult questions.
No, that's fine. Everybody has to think that. I mean, you could start it. It's like, okay, in 3 months I'm going to be there, and then it's like 6 months later, and you're a quarter way there because you had to stop or you had to go back, and
or freaking flat tire. Well, I'm in North Dakota. There's nothing here, so it'll be an adventure. If you go into right attitude, I think it'd be great.
Yeah. You ever think about taking like one of those motorcycle mechanic classes so that you understand how to take your tire off or
I should, because man, I'm terrible at that. Like, here's an example. If we Googled a question when we had it, me specifically, it could apply to anyone. If I just Googled a question whenever I had one, I'd be so smart right now. And it hardly takes any effort to Google something.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, it's not hard to learn. It takes time. I could learn a lot of things like maintaining my motorcycle. That'd be useful, but I'm so lazy. I can't be bothered to Google something like, what's the equator of the Earth in miles? I could find that out and probably read it and know it for life, but I'm too lazy. I could probably learn how to change the tires in my bike. It'd take like maybe a day or less. Too lazy.
Yeah. I'm same boat with you.
Terribly lazy.
Same boat. What do you fill your time with? Criticizing movies? Having fun with that?
I'm sitting on my couch, watch a movie. This is dumb because of that. I look around, nobody in the room. And, it kind of depends on the season. Winter especially, more video games because I'm not riding as much. Games and YouTube, so much YouTube. Watching YouTube. Someone's got to consume it.
Yeah, that's right.
Gotta support the people whose
Giving
content
it back.
I like.
Giving it back.
You're watching so much YouTube. No, I'm supporting content creators.
That's true.
No, honestly, I spend so much time in front of my computer. It's too much.
Yeah. Is it?
Not gonna lie, though.
You have your gaming channel. Is that what you're spending a lot of time on?
Nope.
No?
I haven't streamed in months, but I'm going to start again this winter because GamerNext is going to build me a computer for no reason other than that they want to.
Awesome.
I'm excited about that. It's going to be built with streaming in mind. It's not that I can't, but the thing is streaming robs my computer performance. And if my game doesn't perform optimally, then I'm throwing a hissy fit about it. So they're going to give me one in a month or two, and then I'll start streaming more regularly, and that'll be fun.
Have you ever been to like TwitchCon or any of those places? PAX?
I haven't. No, I've never been to. Shoot, I don't think I've ever been to something like that.
That'd be a lot of fun. I think you'd learn a lot about it.
I should go to a con just to wear my suit.
Yes.
Like an actual gaming event. I haven't been to one.
Oh, you definitely need to. You could probably win one of those. See?
No, I was like, why do I feel like I've been to one? And you said because you could win. I used to do Halo tournaments and the Microsoft store at my mall. And those were fun, but that didn't really count. It's not like a gaming event.
That's
and
cool.
You could win stuff. That was fun. I won a bunch of Microsoft cards. So, they really won.
That works. You could download all the DLC content for Halo later on with all those cards. That's cool. So you like the video game stuff. I like video game stuff. Obviously this is my seat. I got this cool racing seat for video games and being comfortable. Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
But why don't you just jump straight into that? What games are you planning on in about a month or two with the new thing?
When it comes to gaming, I'm boring in that I like my 1 or 2 games and I just play them to death. I don't play 10 different games and dabble. I have the one.
What's that one
So
game?
right now, the one game is Halo Wars 2, which is a very weird one to have. Before that, it was Gears of War 4. I played, and here's the thing. Super boring. In Halo Wars 2, it's online versus AI. In Gears of War 4, same thing. Horde mode. That's it. I'm seriously have maybe 300 hours or more of Horde. It's too much. Anyway, the next game is going to be the Master Chief Collection all year. I played Reach when it came out, so Halo, and then Doom when it comes out next year. I'm definitely going to play that through. I want to play Red Dead Redemption 2. And then by the end of this year, Halo Infinite. When Halo Infinite comes out, that's probably where all my time is going after that.
Oh yeah, that's with the whole
So
new
not
console.
many. I love Battlefield 4. I'll play every once in a while, but that's about it. I have some others, but typically that's all I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Cyberpunk 2077
Oh
to come
yeah,
out.
shoot, when that comes out, oh my gosh, that's exciting.
That's gonna be a fun one. That's like the only game I've ever pre-ordered. Like and I pre-ordered it the day it was able for pre-order, like last year. So
I don't think I've ever pre-ordered. No, I pre-ordered Halo 3. Don't regret that one.
So big Halo, man. You like the RTS with the Halo Wars, huh? You like the
just Halo Wars.
You just like Halo Wars?
I'd played Command and Conquer 3 for a while. Not that I was any good. Halo Wars 2, I'm actually good. Being good makes the game more fun. But I like Halo, so that's why I play it.
Yeah, just play that on Twitch or on YouTube or whatever, and
yeah, whatever I'm playing when I have my computer, that's what I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna enjoy myself when I play. Otherwise, what's the point?
That is true. Are you gonna be a big not brand, but like a personality? Or are you just gonna? I'm playing, guys. You can sit here and watch me play. I'm just gonna sit here. And play.
I'm so boring. Typically, when I play, it's like I'm got my feet up and I'm just laying back and I'm just.
That reminds me of the.
And then once in a while, I'll yell an expletive.
That's like that's the South Park World of Warcraft guy sitting down like this.
Can't see my arms. But
wait,
yeah,
I got my.
And then when he gets killed and things happen to him, no reaction. Maybe he blinks. But that's me basically. I'm not terribly fun to watch, but yeah, what you said, it's basically going to be I'm streaming and you can watch if you want, and then if it's a game where I will talk with the chat. Some games like multiplayer and it's competitive, I can't. I was thinking the other day, probably you don't care, but here I go anyway. There's a spectrum of gaming. There's chill and there's challenging. I think a lot of people know where they fall on the chill challenging spectrum. I'm way over on chill. I typically like it on this half.
Yeah.
So
I'm there too.
Counter-Strike multiplayer versus story mode of an easy game, maybe. Right?
Yeah.
I like playing over here. I'll play competitive games, but I don't over here. It's so much work.
Yeah, and then you get agitated and you quit. Yeah. You're like, I'm going back to the other game, the one of the two that I like.
Okay. Some people only like playing that spectrum on the challenging. That's fine. I like some challenge, but for the most part, I just want to relax.
So you definitely like single player or you versus AI.
Yeah. And playing with people against AI is optimal because it's the right amount of social, but also maybe the right amount of challenging. I don't know. Playing against people is hard, obviously. I'll still do it. Just that's not my go-to. Yeah,
I go to video games to relax. Like when I'm in the middle of editing, I'm like, screw this, save, go to something, and just don't even care.
Some people relax by playing challenging games. That's fine. Not me.
I liked Jedi Fallen Order a lot. That was a fun one.
I should probably play that.
Yeah, that's a relaxing game.
I watched a great video by the internet historian. Love him. It's called The Engoodening of No Man's Sky, and it's a catch-up story on that game. And
that was a huge scandal.
Well, failure turns success. A really good underdog story. If you as of today, the story is a really good story. I'm like, shoot, I might want to play that game.
Yeah, now it's good. I heard it's really good.
You should read something really quick or watch the video explaining it. It's a really interesting story. Anyway, I might try that one.
Yeah. So do you follow? We're moving away from motorcycles. I don't even care.
Yeah, sorry.
No. I don't even care.
You may not care. I'm apologizing to your viewers.
Oh well, they're here to learn about you and me talking to each other. That's basically it. So, I watch I don't even watch motorcycle stuff as much as I used to. That's when I started. I was getting an idea for it. I typically watch like Star Wars lore, What Culture Gaming, Game Ranks. All these that's what I stick with. Inside Gaming Daily. I watch all the video game stuff since I was a kid, and I barely play video games anymore as an adult. Do you watch anything like that? Is that something that you're interested in?
Well, like you, I don't watch motorcycle stuff, but that's been true since the beginning. It's not like I actively avoid it. I just don't pursue it. It's been that way since the beginning. I'll try to keep the story short. When I thought I was inventing the whole genre of making motorcycle videos, I uploaded my first, and then it shows suggested videos. I'm like, oh, there's other people doing this already? They have cameras, they have GoPros on there. It's called motovlogging.
What?
And I was like, well, whatever. I'm just gonna make these videos the way I want. And so I made Moto Monday, which was my moto vlog, but no one else was doing montages of things throughout the day. I'm like, I'm not even gonna look and compare myself to I'm just gonna do it. And that worked for me. I do like watching it occasionally, but typically, yeah, gaming news, lots of random stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Freaking Michael Rosen poops, man. And Team Fortress 2 machinimas.
Oh, I love
they
those.
make me laugh.
I remember the very first Red versus Blue, man. I remember those first seasons. That was terrible. It was like South Park humor, but their own content. Like they didn't have a Comedy Central telling them what not to do. I absolutely love that stuff. Absolutely love it. Yeah, I used to watch the old machinimas, the Mail Time with Sark and what's his name. But anyways, all those old school stuff I absolutely love. Absolutely love. Do you watch those like the newer kid friendly like Wildcat or those Let's Play guys? The old ones were like Sea Nanners and Sark.
No, I never really watched Let's Plays. I watched Markiplier for a while years ago when I was still working before I was YouTube full time, but I don't think I watch gaming stuff. I'll watch reviews. I watch a lot of reviews. I like
for games that we don't play.
Games and movies. I'll actually love watching reviews of games and movies because it's something I think I'd like to do. But I watch some weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
No show I tune into every week. It's pretty sporadic.
Yeah, I watch the Inside Gaming Daily every day basically, and it's for stuff that I don't even do. Like I don't play stuff anymore, really.
Yeah, like if it's for a console I don't have or a game I'm never gonna play, I'll watch it.
Yeah, and it helps me out with my kid. He's into Xbox and Fortnite and Rocket League and all that stuff, and I have no idea. If I didn't stay up to date on this, I would have no idea what he's doing. Yeah. So it's actually helped me out that I'm a nerd like that. That's very cool, man. So you're gonna get back into that though. You're gonna get back into that, the Twitch or YouTube gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good. You think that might overtake the motorcycle stuff, or just like your other job?
No, I suspect that someday the motorcycle stuff won't be front and center, and that's fine. But motorcycles will always be a part of my life, even if I lost both my legs. Motorcycles are still a big part of my life. You know what I mean? So they're going to be a part of my channel. But the channel is called Walterrific, not Walter on a Motorcycle. So I'm free to do whatever I want. But right now, motorcycle is still a big passion, and it's the thing I like sharing the most. So it'll never go away completely. But at some point, I'm sure something else will be front and center.
Do you feel kind of excited, though? Like, do you think, like, man, if gaming just takes off? Like,
I don't think gaming will ever be the front.
No?
Maybe part of it, maybe not part of Walterrific, but I don't know. There's something about motovlogging where, I mean, gaming is one of the biggest things on YouTube, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I like being more unique, and I like that the things about myself, like motorcycles, are a little different. I don't know. They're not quite mainstream, and the fact that people like us get to be at the front of it for those who really care about it, it's like, hey, cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. Like, apparently, there's a lot of people who like motorcycles. All right, cool. I don't know.
That's weird. That's weird.
A little more proud of it, than I would be if I was playing video games. Like, I'd be ashamed of it, but motorcycles are cool. I'm more passionate about it. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, who knows? I mean, you had those two jobs, and YouTube was taking over, and you're like, oh, I'm making as much with this. I quit this job. Now I'm gonna do full time with this. Put more time in. Who knows? Maybe YouTube or gaming will do that, and you're like, oh wow, if I put more time in gaming.
Well, technically, it already is doing that, man. Like, if money is what I wanted, I should be making gaming videos. But I don't like. Oh, there's a good mathematical. Hold on. You can talk and I'll think about why you're talking. This sounds lame, but I don't want money as much as I want to game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense.
I don't want to game. I don't care about gaming enough. And this is really disproportionate. If I made $1 million a year from gaming, I still don't want to, because I just don't want to game that hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you tire yourself down.
Passions lead. I don't know if that makes sense, but
yeah,
like I'm not still not motivated by money, as in that's the main, there are more profitable things to be doing than motovlogging, but that's what I like doing.
Is that one of your things where you're like, I'm just going to keep it for myself so I can enjoy it? Is that kind of one of those things?
Right now, right now gaming is just for me. Like I just, World of Warcraft. I can't not, there we go.
Oh, that's such an old episode too, and I still remember it like it was yesterday. It's great. That was back when I was playing World of Warcraft hardcore, so I was like, oh man, they ripped into me hard. That's what I used to look like. Oh man, cool. Well, I'm glad that we were able to have a chat about gaming, motorcycles, kind of where you're at, and movies. Man, you're all over the place with entertainment.
Sorry,
it's great. I love it. You find what you're passionate about, and you have these ideas, and then it's just a matter of doing them or not. If you want to keep them to yourself or share them with others. But I'm really happy that you're able to be a part of the podcast today, and thanks so much. Is there anything that you want to say, before you head off, and you're like, hey, check out this channel, or our Moto Mondays are coming up. I got something going on now.
Nope.
Do
whatever you want, which is redundant because you would have done that if I didn't tell you to do it. But now that I told you to do whatever you want, are you gonna?
You never know.
No, seriously, do whatever you want.
Awesome. Perfect. Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me. This is fun.